Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be filming a CONRAD inspired makeup tutorial. So after looking at her Instagram a while back, I thought that it would be fun to film something like this. Lauren is very classic and chic and she doesn't go over the top normally, and that's a lot how I am as well. I'm very simple, so I thought that it would be fun to film this. You'll have to excuse me if I start sweating because it is hot in here. I can't film with the air conditioner on, otherwise you'll hear like a constant buzz noise and it's very distracting, so I had to turn it off, and hopefully we don't get too gross up in here. So if you are interested in watching a CONRAD inspired makeup tutorial, just keep watching. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and start out with the Benefit POREfessional. This is a primer. And we're gonna go ahead and just dab it all over our face and make sure to focus on the points that get maybe a little bit overly oily. We're gonna go ahead and just smooth it in with our fingertips. Let that set really quick before we go ahead and just put some foundation on. Okay, now that we are nice and primed, we're gonna go in with the Estee Lauder Double Wear Stay in Place Makeup as our foundation. And I'm just gonna squirt a little bit on the back of my hand, and I'm gonna use a damp beauty blender so that I can blend that in seamlessly to my face. Make sure that you blend it in pretty good, even making sure you get up into like your ear. You don't want to go all the way in your ear, of course, but just blend it in with your ear there. And you'll want to take it down underneath your chin and jawline. Concealer, I'm going to go in with my current favorite Tarte Shape Tape Concealer, and this one is in the color Fair Neutral, and we're just going to highlight the high points of our face. So we're going to go here on the under eye, we're going to go forehead, and a little bit of nose, and the chin. And we're going to use that same damp beauty blender to blend it all out. Now to set that under eye concealer, we are going to use the NYX HD Studio translucent powder. And we're actually going to use the same damp beauty blender. And I know what you're thinking, using a wet sponge and powder sounds like a bad idea, but it's actually works pretty well. Once I get under this eye, I'm going to just swipe it away real quick. I'm just going to use a big fluffy brush to wipe it away. And that will prevent any creasing to happen underneath the eye. And real quick, I'm going to set my face with this ITCosmetics pressed powder. I'm just going to use that same fluffy brush to just powder up my face. And this is just gonna set the foundation and prevent it from moving throughout the day. So we're gonna move on to the brows. So I don't know if you've been following CONRAD's Instagram lately, but she seems to have thicker, more luscious eyebrows. They're pretty wispy looking. And since mine are kind of thin, we're going to just sort of fake a thick brow. Okay, So let's go ahead and just try and fake a thicker brow. For this, I'm going to be using the Anastasia Brow Wiz. This pencil, I bought it in medium brown. I thought that when I purchased it in taupe, which is what I've been using, but what I got was medium brown, so my fault. It works okay. It's not too dark. It's a little bit darker than I wish it would be, but it's all right. So I'm gonna start by just brushing the eyebrow hairs up. Okay, you guys, I totally didn't realize that my memory card was full, so my camera stopped recording in the middle of me doing my brows, but that's okay because I didn't get very far before the camera stopped recording. So I did my brows. I did them as thick as I possibly could to sort of emulate the thickness, the wispiness of Lauren's current eyebrows. So we're going to move on. We're gonna go ahead and move on to the eyes. So normally Lauren has a really neutral, sort of subtle eye look, with the exception of the winged eyeliner, of course. So we're gonna go ahead and go with that look. We're gonna do just neutral, not very many colors at all. Let's go ahead and get started with the eyes. So just to set my eyes, I'm gonna use the Too Faced Sweet Peach palette, and I'm just gonna use the color Peaches and Cream. It's a very neutral, subtle color. And I'm just gonna use my ITCosmetics All Over Shadow Brush. And we're just gonna buff that onto the eyelid to set the concealer that we put on earlier. And this will make sure that the eyeshadow goes on very smoothly and there is no creases or any unwanted blotches on the eye. So just make sure that it's nice and blended into the eye. For the rest of this eye look, I'm gonna go ahead and use my Jaclyn Hill palette. This palette has been very widely used lately for me. It has a very good amount of neutral colors, which is what we're gonna go for here. I'm not quite sure which colors we're gonna go for yet. And of course, I don't have my color sheet, so I can't tell you guys what colors I'm doing, but I'll point to them for you so that you know. So let's go ahead and go in with this lighter neutral color right here. We're gonna use a crease brush and just use a tiny bit, tap off the excess. And then we're just gonna go in lightly into the outer corner and into our crease. And since I have small eyes, I tend to go above my crease a little bit, like right up here with the color. Otherwise, if I open my eye, the color just gets hidden by the lid, I guess. And I don't necessarily have hooded eyes. I wouldn't go that far to say that because they definitely aren't hooded as far as I'm concerned, but I do have a very small eye. And we're actually not gonna do too much more with the eyes. I don't want to go over the top. I want it to be very subtle and neutral. So probably just go in with one shade darker in this palette. And we'll go ahead and go with this guy right here. And we're just gonna go in with the same crease brush. I don't even think I used I didn't use the crease side on that last one. I used the all over shadow. Oh well. Makeup is subjective, guys. You don't have to use the correct brush for whatever it is you're doing. So I used an all over shadow brush for my crease and it worked. So you guys go ahead and just do whatever you want. You don't have to use the same type of brush that I am using. As long as it works for you, that is totally fine. So just put a little bit on the brush, tap off the excess, and we'll just go right over top of that previous color that we used. I'm going to focus this more just on the outer corner, not so much going very deep into my crease. bit of shimmer. Let's just go ahead and go with this first one right here. So I'm going to use this one for my lid. I'm actually just going to put a little bit on my ring finger. And I'm going to spread it on the lid. Ooh! Girl! That is a little bit brighter than I thought it would be. Oops. Hey, that's okay. We can blend it. All makeup is blendable. I'm just gonna take a Sigma E40. I'm just gonna blend that out. I'm not gonna put any additional product on it. I'm just gonna sort of blend all these colors together. So before I finish the under eye part with my eyeshadow, I'm gonna go ahead and do the rest of the face. As far as I can tell, Lauren doesn't contour much. She does bronze, but I'm gonna go ahead and do a little bit of contouring. I'm gonna use my Lorac Pro Contour Palette. I'm gonna use the light contour. And I'm just gonna take the brush that they have in this kit. I'm gonna put a little bit on the top of the brush. I'm gonna start near the top of my ear and I'm going to blend it downwards. Very, very light and simple. We're gonna do a little bit on the nose, just a tiny bit, not too much. Okay, I'm going to bronze up my face now. I'm gonna use the Benefit Hoola bronzer. Of course, everybody uses this bronzer, but it's honestly so good. It's just light enough for my skin tone to make it look like I'm brighter and awake and tan, because that's something that I'm definitely not. So we're just gonna go in the same spot where we put the contour, and we're just going to blend it on top. Also, we're gonna put a little bit of bronzer up in this area. And we're gonna do a little bit down here. It's just gonna make the jawline stand out a little bit more. And since this look is looking a little bit neutral, we're gonna go ahead and brighten it up. I'm gonna use a little bit of this Sigma powder blush, and this is in the color For Cute. And I don't want it to be too pink. I don't want it to be Barbie pink or 80s pink. So we're just going to put a little bit of it on a blush brush. I'm going to use the Luxie 514 blush. And I'm just going to do a tiny bit, tap off the excess. And then I'm just going to sort of brighten up the cheeks. Now I'm going to finish up the rest of my eye. Just one of them. I'm going to finish up the rest of my eyes. Let's take the darker color that we went in second, and we're just going to dab that onto the Sigma E40, and we're going to go under the lower lash line right here. Now for me, here comes the hard part, because I very rarely do a winged liner on my top lid. I very rarely wear liner at all on my top lid because I feel like every time I do it, it's always messy, it's always jagged, and it always messes up my eyeshadow. But if you're going to do a Lauren Conrad makeup tutorial, it's kind of her signature look to do a winged liner. Let's go ahead and attempt this. First, actually, I'm gonna curl my eyelashes. So let's go ahead and just curl the lashes really quick. To tightline my eyes, I'm going to go ahead and use the Sigma Eclipse eyeliner pencil. And I'm going to make sure I stay as close to my lash line as possible. And whenever you're tightlining, you want to try and keep the pencil away from your eye as much as possible. I can't talk and do eyeliner at the same time. It's like near impossible. Now comes the moment of truth, you guys. I don't know if I've ever done a winged eyeliner on camera before. I don't want to mess up. I think it's important that you guys know I am not a makeup artist. I am definitely an aspired makeup artist. I've recently gotten into makeup and I think it's very fun and it's inspiring and yeah. Okay, this is either gonna go decent or very, very bad. The only mirror I have is this small one right here. So let's just get into it, right? Let's just do it. So I'm just gonna follow my natural bottom lash line right here. I'm gonna go up a little bit. Not bad, I guess. One down. Doesn't look that bad, I guess. It's not that great. You can see on this one, if I get a little bit closer here, you can see the jagged edges. And I feel like no matter how many times I practice, I always get these jagged edges. Even if I'm using, I have gel liner, so even if I use gel, I still feel like I get like the jagged edge, so I don't know. What am I doing wrong? If you guys have any recommendations, if you guys have any tips that you can give me for doing a winged liner or just top eyeliner in general, please leave them below in the comments because I would love your help. Okay, we just have a few more things left to do. We're gonna go ahead and apply mascara. I'm gonna use the L'Oreal Voluminous Lash Paradise. This has been my go-to lately. This mascara is awesome. It's a dupe for the Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara. I've heard good things about the Better Than Sex mascara. I just have never gotten around to using it quite yet. And I'm not gonna do falsies, partly because that's another thing that I have to learn still, is how to apply false lashes. Every time I do it, no matter how long I let the glue dry, I feel like it is always way too runny. So yeah, that's another thing that I have to practice. But I'm also not gonna do it because it doesn't look like in a lot of Lauren's pictures she wears false lashes. So, okay, I'm going to apply a highlighter now. I'll use the shimmer highlight in the Lorac Pro Contour palette that we used earlier. And I'll just use a fan brush and just give my cheeks some very pretty highlight. We are going to do our lips. And since this is going to be very subtle, however, I don't want it to be super neutral, I'm going to use the NYX Whipped. It looks like this. I got it in one of my Ipsy bags, and it's in the color Pink Cloud. So like I said, I don't want it to be too neutral or subtle, so I'm going to add a pink lip to it, and that will sort of coordinate with the pink blush that we did earlier. So yeah, that's it, you guys. I hope that you enjoyed this Lauren Conrad inspired makeup tutorial. It has been very fun to shoot. Again, if you guys have any tips or tricks for this winged liner, please leave them in the comments down below. So if you enjoyed this video, please like, and don't forget to subscribe. I try to put out new videos every Sunday and then a few videos in between then. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Bye! It's a dupe for the, excuse me.